Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, July 2nd. It is 6:23 right now. Market's gonna open in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. All right, a few more things here to update, and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. So let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Oh, well. All right, perfect. So as people join in, I'm gonna go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. Daily chart. And going down to the 8 hour. Going down to the 4 hour. Down to the 2 hour. Down to the 1 hour. Down to the 30 minute. Down to the 15. Down to the 10 minute. And it looks like we're good to go. So back to the 1 minute over here. See if there's anything else here that I need to mark up. This one. And it looks like we're good. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, July 2nd. It is 6:27 right now. Market's going to open in about 3 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. So looking at current price, the closest levels of liquidity are going to be this level up here, which is 39,430. So that's probably going to be the first area price looks to push to if it does push up. And if price pushes down here to 39,385, which is also going to line up with the London low and the New York global low. So two levels of liquidity right here. I mean, these will probably get hit pre-market in the next 2 minutes, but we'll see what happens when market does open. So we've marked up liquidity there. We're about ready to go. Looks like the trend here is starting to shift bullish. Price is above the pivots, trend meter is green. Divergence is angling up. So we'll probably be looking for some buys today. But again, we'll see what happens here when market opens. So we got a couple targets here. If price pushes up higher, this is going to be the next target up here. this area of liquidity. It also lines up with the session high over here for Asia. I'll put this up here just in case. I'll be looking for that in case price pushes up higher. And then vice versa, if price comes down, down on this point right here. So we'll see what happens here when the market opens. I wish the market was like more volatile so that we could see this a little better, but it's all right. We'll just try to follow with it. All right, so that first level of liquidity right there just got hit, guys, pre-market. Market's opening up in about 20 seconds. Market is opening up in 10 seconds. Market's opening up in 2, 1, open. So here goes the opening candle right here, guys. Volatility is not super high yet. We do have Powell speaking today, so I'll try to look that up as well. Let me see if I can pull it up right now, actually. I don't know where is he speaking at. So I just search it up. Powell live. Yeah, I don't have anything of him speaking right now. So I'm not sure exactly when or where he's speaking. He's supposed to speak right now at 6:30, but I'm not sure exactly. So we got Jolt job quits at 7 and 7:10. It's a weird time for news, but I'll just mark it up right there. So we got news coming up over here at 7 and 7:10. So price hasn't really moved around yet. It's still kind of just sitting right here, which is a little unusual for market open. I think a lot of people are kind of just waiting for Powell to speak or for something to happen, before they start looking for some entries here. So we'll try to take it a little easy until he causes some volatility in the market. But if price pushes up higher, the target price point is going to be the liquidity up here and the sessions. This top liquidity over here is the Asia high. So that's probably where price is going to push up. If it pushes up higher, this is going to be the target price point. If price pushes back below, target price point is going to be down here, of course. So there's not really much volatility here. Price is kind of just going back and forth. Steve said, I believe Fed chair is getting ready to speak. Yeah, I was trying to look up his live, but I just don't see it here at all. Let me pull up CNBC real quick. Yeah, so it says stock slide as traders look to Powell comments. So Powell hasn't started yet. Okay, he's starting to speak right now. Watch Fed Chair Powell. Perfect, we got it right here.
In which we operate is likely to become.
Okay, so he's not speaking yet, but he's about to. Here's price starting to push back up higher. So again, the target price point is going to be right here, guys. If price does push up higher, I'm going to look for it to retrace down, provide opportunity for us to get in. So maybe bounce off the level here, come back up. That's what I will be looking for here, if possible. If not, price might just push up and hit the target point right there. But I'm going to follow this and see if I can catch it when it comes up. So the volatility is definitely starting to pick up here, as you guys can see. Looks like it hit the first target right there, the first level of liquidity. Let's see if it retraces back at all. Okay, so it's retracing back right here. If this candle swings back up green, I will take this here for a buy. So I'm watching it right here. Candle has about 40 seconds left on it. All right, I'm in the position right here for a buy.
Order submitted.
Oh, fuck, the copier's not on. Turn my copier on real quick. All right, I got out full TP. Unfortunately, my copier was only on for one account. Fuck me.
Order filled.
Okay, so I only got the trade on one account. It's all good. Hit my target right there. But oh, interesting. Okay, so I actually did take the trade on all my accounts. So what happened was I was in the trade and it was kind of just sitting there and I turned on my copier and as soon as I turned on my copier, it actually followed like kind of late. So I got the trade in on all my accounts, thank God. I was kind of pissed for a second because I was like, why is only one account showing profit? My main account. And they all took it. So got into that trade right there. Price is pushing up higher. So let's see how far it pushes up right here. Okay, at this point, it's pretty much hit liquidity and it went straight through. And yeah, Steve said you're fucking me, you're hilarious. I know, I was wondering why only my personal account was showing profit. And then I just turned on my copier, like literally. That's so cool with Replicano. I didn't know it does that. So if your copier is not on, if you just turn it on, it'll follow like while it's mid moving. And that's what happened. It followed it mid trade. And then I ended up dang, there was like three liquidities right there. You see that? So there's like double liquidities on different time frames. But there you go. There's two right there. All right, so no other entries here right now, guys. I hit my first target, which was the sessions. You guys can see this is why I entered because I entered right before I hit the sessions. That's why I was okay with it. But let me just take a screenshot of this real quick. And then I will screenshot my profits. Man, that really had me sweating for a second. I was like, man, I I was really confused why I was only taking it on one account. Um, I thought there was something wrong with my copier, but there wasn't. So we're good. Anyways, let me just put this over here in the profits for the day. That trade was at 6:30, we'll say 6:34. All right, so price is coming back down right here. There's no opportunities for entry right now. Let's wait a little bit. I mean, technically there was an entry right there. If you wanted to get in right there, where the candle wick right here off the pivot, you could have, but it wasn't a big enough wick. I wanted the big wick like we had before. Basically, big pull to the downside and then push back up. But okay, my accounts are back in profit. For this week so far. All right, posted up my profits back to the charts. And now looking for our next entry here. So price is kind of just sitting right here at the sessions. The next target price point is going to be up here. So if price climbs back up, next target price point is going to be up here. We're not there yet, but we'll be there soon. So we'll follow it here. Price is bouncing off the sessions right there. I mean, technically you could have entered again right there if you wanted to. But again, I think this is a bit of a risky area because of the sessions and also because price just keeps going sideways right here where it's currently sitting. So I think this area right here is a little risky. I mean, technically, if you really wanted to enter a trade there, there would be another market flow entry right there. But like I said, there you go, full TP if you guys decided to take that risk. I just don't really like trading around the sessions because it's hard to tell what price is going to go next, right? I would rather have a rejection off the pivot. This over here did reject off the pivot too. If the sessions wasn't there, I would have been okay with taking it. But because the sessions were right there and price is pretty much consolidating at the sessions, I personally would just want to sit out. But this is a very nice wick right here, as you guys can see. Price came down, bounced directly off the pivot and the sessions, and then it spiked to full TP right there. So I'll continue watching to see if it pushes up higher. But for the most part, you know, I'm going to take it easy right here because I don't want to get caught up in the market manipulation. But again, target price point is going to be up here. So if price pushes up higher, this is kind of where we expect price to push up to. Let's check Powell to see if he's speaking. He is now speaking right now. So Powell is live. This is why the volatility is starting to pick up quite a bit because he is now speaking. The good thing about this is that he's speaking at a conference. He's not necessarily speaking to the public directly. So he's going to be saying things, but they're not necessarily going to directly affect the market with everything he says, because he's going to be responding to questions, and there's going to be discussion between multiple people over here at the ECB or at the Central Bank Policy Forum with ECB's Lagarde. So we'll continue to see here. The volatility is going to pick up. So if you guys want to keep taking trades, feel free. There was another opportunity right here. It's basically a levels entry. Price came down and bounced off the level right there. And I mean, technically you could have gotten in, but again, I want a bigger rejection. So I would like this to push down a bit further and then obviously come back up. Target price point is still up here. So price is pushing up to that target price point that I marked up earlier. So again, if price climbs up higher, this is going to be the target price point. So if anybody's looking for entries, that's where you want to look. If price does drop back further right here, rejects off the pivot and comes back up, I'll possibly look for another entry. But at this very moment, I'm not really seeing that happening because the pivots are so far back. And again, this is going to be the lower area if price decides to come back down, which I'm not really expecting that to happen if Powell continues to speak. So let's take a look at liquidity up here. We have a bunch of liquidity right here, 3 levels. And then if price pushes up higher, we have more liquidity over here with the New York high and London high. So if price pushes up higher, this is going to be the next target, right? It's got a long way to go. Okay, so the first target right here is getting hit. There goes the liquidity. It's getting knocked out right now. There goes the targets that I just mentioned. There was no entries before this, but this is the target price point that we were looking for price to go to. So if you took the, say, for example, if you took the levels from down here and you took it for a 50-50, something that a lot of people here take, you could have rolled this up to the next level, which was in the same area where our target price point was. So if you decided to take this for 50 points, you could have taken that there. Again, I'm giving you guys my analysis here to show you where price is going. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go there directly, but you can see over here that it did work out perfectly if anybody did take that for that specific push. Price is now at the next level over here at the 550. Again, if price pushes up higher, it's probably going to retrace back a little bit. So if you want to look for the continuation here, this is what I would look for. I would look for price to pull back sharply, come back up, and then finish the push, right? Because there's still opportunity right here for entry. But I would like to see a strong push down below right here, bounce off the pivot, and then swing back up green. So with this right here, I would watch this pull back a little further. It's not pulled back far enough for me. It doesn't have to pull back all the way to the pivot, but ideally that's where I would like it to pull back to the pivot right here, and then correction back up for the finished push, because it hasn't pushed up to this last level of liquidity yet. It's not done pushing. So the retracement's happening right here. And I would watch this here for it to swing back up. Let's see how much time we have left on this candle. We have 22 seconds. So there's still opportunity for this to swing back up. I'll be watching over here just in case. We've got 15 seconds left on this candle. The volatility is getting lower. It's probably not going to push up from here, but it is pushing down to the pivot, which is what I was looking for. So maybe on the next candle, it'll push down, bounce off the pivot, maybe the level, and then push back up. Right, so you can look for the retracement right here, further retracement. Again, I'm going to be looking for that stronger retracement there. So, okay, there goes the retracement that I was looking for. See if it pulls back even further. Looks like it's doing a hard retracement here now. It's got 20 seconds left on this candle. This is probably not going to correct back up on this candle. Okay, so I think at this point I would leave it alone Looks like prices are tracing back pretty hard. I'm going to look for the correction back up. Again, the target price point is still up here. So if we get that correction, it's probably going to push up to this area up here. But I would look for something like this. I'm going to look for it to come down first, come back up, retest, and go up higher. Otherwise, if price doesn't push up, the target price point here is going to be opening price, right? So if price continues to drop lower from where it's currently at, and it reverses, it'll probably come down to opening price right here. So we got two targets here. If price corrects back up, it's going to push up to this area right here. If price pushes down, it's going to push down to the opening price. And then the next level over here is going to be down here, which is going to be the New York low and the London low. This New York low and London low line up with liquidity down here. Same with what we had earlier. So if you remembered earlier, we had the liquidity sitting right here at the Asia high, right? So with price sitting right here, we took that trade to push to this area. Now, if price decides to come down, it's going to push down to this session right here. And this liquidity, pretty much just a bunched up area right here, right? There's just a lot of targets here. There's the sessions, there is liquidity, there is a level around this area. It's just a good area to target price to move to. Again, the first target is going to be opening price. You guys know back to open, so that's nothing new there. That's going to be the first target for it to hit. So what might happen here is price might come down, bounce off open, bounce off the level, come below open, retest open, and come down to the target. This is going to be the target down here. Powell is still speaking with Lagarde. They're just having a conversation. So it's not really like them announcing anything. They're just having a conversation about the economy, of course. So let's see if price swings back up. If price doesn't come back to open, again, like I said earlier, guys, look for the opposite push. You know, you have two different targets here. Price will either push up, continue climbing back up to the original target, or it'll come back down to open. So right here, we have price climbing back up. This is perfect. It's exactly what we were looking for. Again, I wanted to push up a little bit higher, retrace super hard, reject off the pivot, and then come back up because my target price point is still up here. So we're still in good shape right here, guys. I mean, this whole area is pretty nice. It's in a big range right now, which is perfect. I'd rather have price in a big range than a small consolidation. Obviously, you can see over here, if I was to clean this up, which I can, I'll just clean this up. We don't need this here, right? We already know liquidity sitting there. So there's a bunch of liquidity right here. Now that I've cleaned it up, you guys can see where the range is happening. The range is happening between the 550 price right here and the 450. So this is the range right here down the middle between these structures. I like when there's a gap in between. This is just like yesterday's market. There was another level in between, which is this 500. This is the middle point. This is basically the median, and then price pushes up here to the 550, and then it pushes down here to the 450. So realistically, if you're looking for some entries, you know, if price comes down below this point here, below the 450, that's how you know price is going to reach this target. Right now, price is in between the range, so it's closer to the upwards target. But I mean, price can easily shift. So I think this right here it's a big range where you can trade within. But again, if you want to look for outside moves, probably wait for it to push out of this area, because when it pushes out of this area, it's got a long way to go, right? The next target's way up here. So that's what I would look for. If you're too scared to trade within the range, which is completely fine, you know, of course, I'd feel the same way. You can wait for it to push out of the range, which is going to be past the 550. And then if you're looking for some sells here, you can look for it to push past the 450. So it's about a 100-point range right now, which is, I mean, it's pretty good. I like 100-point ranges. The 50-point ranges are kind of tricky because it's consolidating within that little area, but we have a 100-point range here. So you have like key price points to look for when price breaks above and when price breaks below. But here are my profits so far, guys. I didn't show you guys yet. So here are my profits so far. You guys can see on all of my Apex accounts up here, I locked in like well over 1,000. So I'm up about 20,000 over here for my Apex accounts. Here's my personal account locked in 525. These are my PA accounts right here, locked in 285, 270, and then 170 right here. So pretty decent profits for the day so far. You guys can see for the week, all of my accounts are now back in the green, thank God, because it was kind of annoying yesterday because I did have a winning trade. We had 2 wins and 1 loss yesterday, but because one of my trades was partial, I ended up at break even. So you know how annoying that can get. because the fees are so expensive. Well, they're not expensive, but if you're going for partial moves, it's not going to be beneficial for you. So back in the green for the week, which is a big plus for me. This week is just tricky, guys. You guys have to understand that for this week here, we have a lot of things to pay attention to. So we have NFP, we have the holiday, and it's also the first of the month. Well, yesterday was the first of the month. This is still the first week of the month. So we have a holiday week and it's NFP. And we have Powell speaking today. And we have a bunch of news that's happening. So again, just a reminder, let me show you guys the calendar for this week. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. I know Max mentioned it earlier this week, like on Sunday. There's a lot of stuff going on. So we have high impact news right here at 7 o'clock. It's coming up in about 10 minutes. You want to be careful with that. We have medium impact news at 7:10. It's really unusual that it happens, 10 minutes after, but it happens sometimes. And then on Wednesday, we have a bunch of news over here too. Pre-market, high impact news, jobless claims, initial jobless claims, S&P Global Services, PMI, Global Composite PMI, inflation news. We just have a lot of stuff going on because it is NFP. And then of course on Friday, we have NFP. Thursday is a holiday, so we're not going to be trading that day. Just a lot of stuff to look out for. Don't worry, you guys are not missing out on anything here. It's pretty much flat. So there's nothing for you guys to take here even if you wanted. The volatility is pretty low. And you guys will see. You guys will see what happens here next. So again, like I said earlier, this is the midpoint. The 500 mark is basically the median of the range. Prices ranging between 550 and 450 down here. So you probably want to wait for price to break out of these areas before you start looking for entry. I know our target price point is right here. So you might be able to catch a move as price climbs up like very quickly, but I think it's going to happen too quickly and you might just miss it. Like for example, I think this will probably spike up during news right here. We have 7 o'clock news, which is JOLTS job openings. This typically will spike price. Looking at the news over here, it's forecasted to be negative. So JOLTS job openings for May, last month was 8.59. This month it's 7.91. So it means that there's less jobs available for May. I mean, we'll see. We'll see if that's the case. That might not be the case. The forecasting has been pretty off this week, if you guys have noticed. Yeah, they've been pretty off. Like, I think the news from yesterday was kind of off, and the day before that was kind of off, which is unusual. I don't know if that's like a manipulation because, sometimes, a lot of times people can buy off these news analysts, right? Like the news analysts know that the news is going to go a certain way, but then, of course, people get bought out. They'll report something that isn't really what's really expected. Unless anyone here knows how to follow actual fundamentals, I don't think anybody here really does. Like following actual news and stuff that's happening behind the scenes. It's really hard to tell because if you're like depending on these analysts here, like CNBC is like one of the biggest ones because you'll see CNBC report something and then the market will do complete opposite. So that's something to keep in mind. Again, price is still going sideways right here, so there's nothing going on. I think price will probably consolidate up until 7 o'clock where news will happen. In this situation right here, guys, I don't think I'm going to trade after 7 o'clock on my account. So I'll see how the market's moving. But for the most part, I think I might just close my ninja. I'll keep looking for entries here and I'll give analysis. But for my own personal accounts, I think I'm going to close out once it hits 7 o'clock because I need to stick to my trading plan. 6:30 to 7 is prime time to take entries. You guys can see over here, this is where we took our entry earlier. Down this middle area. And then now it starts to die down. So you can see price pushed right here from 6:30 up until 6:43. And then now price is going sideways. And then, and that's pretty much it for there. All right, so price looks like it's coming down and finally test the lower range right here. The lower range is going to be the 450 level. So again, I said the first target price point is going to be the opening price right here. So price is finally coming down. If it comes down further, target price point is going to be the opening price, this blue line. Once it reaches this point, the next target price point is going to be liquidity down here, which is also lined up with the London low and the New York low. So you got the sessions right here, liquidity, and then you got another area right here, price wants to push down to the next level, which is going to be the 350 mark. But again, I think price is just going to go sideways right here. It's going to consolidate until 7 o'clock. Once the news is released at 7 o'clock, we'll expect some push. So let's see the breaking news over here from CNBC. It says Powell says Fed has made quite a bit of progress on inflation, but needs more confidence before cutting. So there's not going to be any cuts until probably the end of the year, guys. I mean, we already knew this. Powell said there's only going to be one cut this year. It's probably going to happen in November or December. It's not going to happen now. And a lot of people are looking for those interest rate cuts. You know, with the rate so high, I ended up putting a lot of my cash into CDs. I went to the bank yesterday. I put like, which is pretty good. I think I put like 100,000 in a CD. Let's see, so, and the rate right now is 4.75. So if you guys have just cash laying around, you guys can put them in a CD. It's like a 2-month maturity. So 100,000 I put in the bank yet, not in the bank, but in the CD yesterday. I transferred my money to a CD times 475. I'm basically getting like 4,705 APR, which is basically free money. So if you guys just have money sitting in the bank, which is kind of what I do, you can put them in a CD and then it'll just accrue, and I just roll it over. So every 2 months, I'll just let it roll over and get free money. So just a heads up. I know everyone's looking for the interest rates to drop. I don't think they're going to drop until like November, December. So make your money work for you. I'm always looking for different investments, guys. So like I said before, with a lot of other people. Yeah, I know them all, but I'm letting it roll over for like the year. So it's just going to keep rolling over. It's 4,000 times a year and then divided by 6. So I would still be making close to 1,000 every 2 months because it just rolls over. You just leave it there. It's a 2-month maturity, so you could just pull it or you can just let it roll over. So until something better comes along, I just leave it in there. Yeah, so Vimal is right. Every 2 months, it just rolls over, and then it would just your principal would just grow from there. Nice. Yeah, Rashida said she just opened one. Wells Fargo says 4.60 on liquid savings. Nice. Yeah, that's pretty much the same thing. It's pretty much the same thing from compared to the CD. It's just with the CD, you can't like touch it for 2 months, which is fine unless you have like some big purchases to make. Everything's pretty high. I mean, you can put them in. There's like so many different options out there, different banks, different high yield savings accounts. Well, that's basically what it is. A high yield savings account lines up with your liquid savings. Let's see. Rashida said also, Sean, I don't know if you have Citizens Bank out there. They have a CD for 8 months, 5.25. Nice. We do have a Citizens Bank here. I just don't really use them. I'll probably take a look. Because like right now, it's kind of risky to put your money into other investments unless like you know for sure it's gonna work. The only money I have set aside right now is for the hedge fund. That's like literally the only thing I have money set aside for. I wanted to get into real estate, but obviously prices are too high, interest rates are too high. I was thinking about buying out some older businesses, but again, that's a risk. And then it's also a learning curve. One big thing here in California is car washes, like those automated car washes. Those are like popping up everywhere over here. I don't know how it is on other sides of the world, or other sides of the nation, but here in California, it's a big thing. All right, guys, I know we're going off topic, but there's nothing going on here. So you can see the price is now ranging and consolidating between the 500 and the 450. The consolidation got a bit tighter right here. As we get closer to news is happening right here at 7 o'clock. We'll see if it breaks above and continues climbing up higher to this target price point up here. So again, targets are still the same. Price hasn't pushed up to this upper level here. So this is going to be where the first target's going to be if it, continues climbing up. All right, so we got price still sitting here. I don't know if I'm expecting a big spike, but I'm expecting some volatility. So for Jolt's job openings, it's kind of hit or miss. It's not always going to spike price because it's not such a big difference unless the actual number is like hugely off. I think the number is going to be hugely off though. So just something to keep in mind. We got news coming up in 30 seconds. I'm expecting this number to be way off because yesterday was way off and Friday was way off last Friday. So I think the analysts over here, they're just not, I don't think they're going to be on point. So I'm not expecting a spike, but I'm expecting definitely a climb or a drop. Like maybe a late reaction to the news. All right, we got 10 seconds till news. Let's see what happens here. And here goes news. Yeah, decent spike, not a huge spike, but decent spike. So it came down a little bit right there. Yeah, it's not a huge spike, not what I was, well, I mean, this is pretty much what I was expecting. I was expecting a push, but not really a huge spike. This candle over here was, let's see, so it pushed up about 11 points. It pushed down 42 points. I guess it's a decent spike, but not a one-directional spike. Okay, so let's check the news real quick. News was positive. So it wasn't super off, but it was off by a bit. So it was forecasted to be 7.9. It was actually 8.4. So the jobs are actually good right now. So they forecasted it to be less jobs. It's actually more jobs. So the news was positive. You can see price didn't really go anywhere. It just manipulated right here off that news candle. And we'll see if it climbs back up to, the opening up there. Or not the opening, sorry, to the liquidity. All right, guys. So for my personal accounts, I'm going to close out my Ninja Trader. I'm going to keep calling trades out. I'm going to keep analyzing, but for my personal accounts over here, I'm going to close them out because obviously I don't like the way the market's moving here. So Ninja is closed. Let me turn off my laptop so I don't take any FOMO trades or anything like that. All right, laptop's on. Now we'll just do analysis and answer questions. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm done trading for the day, but I will continue to analyze the market and give you guys, my opinion of like what's going to happen here. Again, the target price points are still the same. We have this upper level right here. We have this lower level right here. So if price decides to continue climbing up, which I think it will, as long as the volatility stays high, the target price point is going to be this liquidity right here. And then after that, if price continues to climb up higher, the next level is going to be way up here. I highly doubt this is going to get touched right now. This will probably get touched later today, if Powell continues to speak. But I mean, for the most part, I don't think price is going to overextend that far out. Opening price is right here. Let me show you guys where I think price will push out to. So I'll zoom out real quick, just so there's space. Let me get the measuring tool. Okay, so opening price happened right here. The farthest I think price will push is maybe 300 points. Maybe 400. Okay, so for today, this liquidity might get hit. If something happens later today, that's how far I think price will push out to. And then below, let's see. And then below, same thing, but just the opposite direction. So if price does continue coming down, you guys can see all the liquidity down here, right? There's a ton of liquidity. Probably down here. So there's just two areas that price will likely push to. It'll either push down and then knock out liquidity over here, or it'll push up and then knock out liquidity right here, and then maybe reach this level of liquidity. So I think the things to look out for would just be the liquidity. If you guys didn't see the liquidity, let me go on the higher time frame, 10-minute, or even the 15-minute, or even 30-minute. So you guys can see this is where price is currently at. Let me turn off the levels. There's liquidity sitting on both sides. Let me go on the higher time frame, 1 hour. Okay, so you guys can see it better here, right? Target price point, if price pushes up higher, is going to be this upper level liquidity. And then if price continues to drop lower, there's liquidity sitting right here, right? We're on the 1 hour time frame, so it's pretty spread out. But up here is about like 300 points away. And then down here is another 300 points away. So if price climbs up and it rallies, this is where it's probably going to reach by the end of the day. And if it drops, this is probably where it's going to reach by the end of the day. But you can see price can go in either direction. So like, I wouldn't really focus on having too much of a one-sided bias. Again, my idea is that price is going to have to push up and hit this this level of liquidity right here. Ideally, that's kind of where price will probably push up to. But again, you know, price can still come back down. So don't get married to one position, right? Or one direction. You know, people always say that don't get stuck on like one direction because price can really go, it can really go either way. Ideally, yeah, you'd want price to go one way, but for the most part, it looks like price is now just in a big range. So the consolidation range is still right here between the 500 mark and the 450. This is consolidation. And these are just fake outs. So price pushes up, fakes out above here. You guys can see how the volatility is kind of dead. I think the market will pick back up later past 8. So like maybe 8:39. Between 8:39, that's probably where, and this is where 8 o'clock is. Just to give you guys an idea. Otherwise, I think price is probably just going to keep sitting around this area for now. Until it hits one of these targets, of course. And once one of these targets gets hit, that could change the whole game plan. Right now, so focus on your initial targets first, guys. Don't aim to like shoot super high or super low. Focus on these targets first. Once this target gets hit, then okay, now you can start looking for price to like once this area gets hit right here, then okay, once that happens, now you can start looking for a farther push. And same with this one down here, right? Don't focus too far out because this, like the opening price hasn't even gotten hit yet. So focus on opening price first, then possibly this level, then possibly this level. You know, baby steps, guys. You don't need to like forecast what's going to happen by like market close today. Just focus on what's happening between 7 and 8. And then between 7 and 8, focus on what's going to happen between 8 and 9. I like to cut things up in like hours. So like I said earlier, or even 30 minutes if you like my main entries come up between 6:30 and 7, right? So my entry came up right here. You can see the nice volatility and then it dies down. So, you know, it's okay to make adjustments to your game plan. Just make sure your game plan lines up with what your end goal is for the day. My end goal for the day was to trade until 7, lock in 1 or 2 entries. I know this is a risky week, so I'm not really trying to trade after 7 o'clock. And the volatility is dead anyway, so there's not really much of a point. Let's see, y'all said what a waste. LOL, I was waiting for news to bring up some gap. See you guys done for the day. All right, y'all, we'll see you back here tomorrow. I know I was hoping it'd push it out of this range right here, this consolidation, but it didn't. It just spiked a little bit and then it ended up going back into the consolidation range. Let's see, Joe said, I admire your discipline. Thanks, Joe. Yeah, that's key, right? That's the only reason that I'm like really successful at trading long term. Because if you guys have the discipline to just stop trading, it's going to be a game changer, right? Like I just talked to Max today, right? Max, you're here, I think. Like Max said that he would have like, you know, 3 to 7 good days, and then one day he would just blow it all. That's where the discipline comes in, right? So I was talking to Max over here, like if you have a problem with like your discipline, just journal your trades. Because if you journal your trades, like for example, let's pull up my journal real quick, since we have some free time. If you guys look at my journal over here, you know, this is where I kind of woke up and I was like, dang, I took so many trades last week. I got to chill out. So you guys can see from last week over here, I took a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 trades. I took 15 trades last week. I never take that many trades, right? So because I have my journal here, I could understand that, okay, I over traded last week. So now I have to chill out and I got to go back to 1 to 2 trades a day. So if you guys don't have a journal, you guys can use my journal. Of course, this is available to you. Just go to the Discord, go down to 2024 official live trades. And then I have a blank journal right here. This is a blank template. You can just click on this here. And then you just change the dates and you can use my journal. You know, I'm here to help you guys out. So whatever you guys need help with, let me know. And I could point you guys in the right direction. You know, I've made enough mistakes trading where I can kind of tell you what you're doing wrong and what you can do to improve on that. Yeah, Max's psychology is the biggest battle trading for him. Yeah, And that's kind of I think that's the biggest battle for everyone. I'm pretty happy with my profits for the day though. Again, there's nothing going on here, guys. So I know if you guys are looking for entries, I would probably hang out for a little bit. There's news right here at 7:10. It's medium impact news. So at 7:10, we have RCM TIPP Economic Optimism Index. I think once this news passes, we'll start to get some direction. Seems like a lot of people are just waiting for the news to happen. They're forecasting this to be positive. So if this is positive, it's probably going to start to climb to the upside. Because if this is positive and this is positive, then it's probably going to finally start to move in the direction that we've been waiting, which is up here. All right, news in 15 seconds. Let's see. Let's see everyone else's profits for the day. I didn't take a look at everyone's profits yet. So we got Max over here. Max locked in 1,400 per account. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 accounts. So well over 9,000 on his funded PA accounts. Great work, Max. Yeah, so this is one thing too. Once you hit your profit goal, you can just wrap it up. So Max over here locked his profit, 9,000 for the day, and now he's done. So great work, Max. And it looks like you took that profit on that first trade we took earlier this morning. So you're good. Took that one trade we took, locked in your profit, and now you're done. We have Natasha here, total profit of 457. Nice work, Natasha. And then we have Jonathan over here, took that same trade with us this morning, locked in 660 on his first account, 660 on his second, and 1,020 on his third account. So well over 2,000 for the day. Nice work, Jonathan. All right, solid work, guys. If you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Let me go and put this right here. So we got the news marked up. Price is coming down. I'm assuming the news was negative. The news was positive. So price is getting manipulated right now. So the news was positive like we expected. I think price is just being manipulated right here to stop out the buyers. It just doesn't make sense, right? This shouldn't come down. There's like no reason for it to come down. This here is just price manipulation. It's basically wiping out the buyers, and then eventually it's going to climb back up. This is why I try to avoid news as much as possible, because it just does not make any sense here, right? 7:10 high impact news, positive. 7:10 medium impact news, positive, right? There's no reason for price to come down. I think Powell's done speaking as well. Yeah, so Powell is, oh no, they're still speaking. Yeah, so they're still speaking, but I don't think he's saying anything that's affecting the market, because he's not even actually speaking right now. They've already done, they're done making their opening remarks. And also it is Trap Tuesday. Thanks, Natasha. I always forget about that, but today is Trap Tuesday. Another reason to stop trading on Tuesday if you're happy with your profits. Let's see, Freddie said, guess I'm not familiar with this new strategy. We'll learn by watching, hopefully. So what I recommend, Freddie, is rewatch the mentoring session from last Friday. I covered it in detail over there. So review it and you should understand it. It's pretty simple. Basically, so this new strategy, it's not really a new strategy. It's the strategy that I used to apply, back in the day, Freddie. I know you've been around for a while. So if you guys remember, I used to take a lot of speculative trades. And I would take trades just based off my analysis, right? That's kind of what I'm doing here. So the first thing that I do is I look for my bias right here. Obviously, price is above the pivots, trend meter is green, pivots are angling up. This right here is a bullish bias. So I'm looking for bias here. And then I typically look for price to push up, retrace, and continue up to my target price point. So just review the mentoring session from last Friday. You should understand it. You've been around long enough to understand this trading style. It's just a mix of everything. So I'm not following a specific strategy. I'm using the strategies as a confluence. And then I am taking my entries based off discretion. That's just kind of what it is. There's no one way to explain it because there's no set requirements for it. I'm kind of just looking for price to climb up, bounce off structure, basically a break and retest. But I'm also not waiting for the candle to close. I'm taking it mid-candle. Because you'll see sometimes here that if you wait for the candle to close, it's a little too late, right? Like for this, there's a BV3 that happened right here. Price closed and then it retraced down and then it came back up. It would still work out, but it'd be a tricky entry to take because a lot of times if you wait for the candle to close, the volatility dies down and you're trapped in that position. Let's see. All right, so nothing's happening here. Price is still within the consolidation range right here. Again, between the 500 and the 450. It's not really going anywhere. This is why we cut off trading at 7 o'clock. At least for me personally. You guys don't have to cut off trading, but if you guys are looking to take entries, again, wait for price to push up. Look for that volatility to push through. Because I do think price is going to push up. You know, the news here is all positive, so I'm expecting it to continue up higher. It doesn't really make sense for it to drop down unless something else happens that causes price to drop. And then also, thanks, Drew. So Drew also mentioned retail sentiment. I know we don't take a look at retail sentiment as much because it's been neutral, but retail sentiment today is 60% short. This indicates that 60% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So typically you want to do the opposite and buy. That also goes hand in hand with our analysis here, right? We're currently in a bullish trend with regard to the pivots. And if price pushes up, it's going to push up to that target price point. So just got to be smart about it. As we're waiting here, let's see if there's more profits. We have Amal here, total profit of 375. Amal said couldn't set the copier on time. I know it's that kind of threw me off too with my copier from Amal because I woke up early. Like I purposely woke up like earlier today so I could set up my copier, but then I forgot to turn it on. You know, go figure. It was on for everything else except for my my Apex accounts. And thankfully I turned it on at the last second and it still worked. So worked out for me. And then some more profits over here from Drew. So Drew said quick profits before some of my accounts didn't close on his copier. Yeah, so over here, you still did pretty good though. So Drew over here locked in 1,700 on basically half of his accounts and 2,178 on the rest of his accounts. So it's a 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So well over 13,000 for the day right here. And then for the week, Drew's up, let's see. I'm not even gonna do the math here. You're up like over 50K, it looks like. So nice work, Drew. Great profits for the day, great profits for the week. Okay, so I've covered pretty much all the team profits so far. If you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. Again, you know, like I mentioned over the past couple of weeks, posting your profits isn't necessarily to show off. Posting your profits is going to boost your confidence. So if you're not confident in your trading, you have to celebrate the little wins, right? A lot of people say not to celebrate your wins, but you should celebrate your wins. If you're having a good day, post your profits. It's going to make you feel good. Then tomorrow you're going to feel good and you're probably going to be confident to take another trade. And then it's a domino effect, right? You have good days. Like say, for example, this week, you had a good day yesterday, you had a good day today, you're probably gonna have a good day tomorrow. And then you're gonna close out this week as a great week. If you don't post your profits, you're just gonna think behind your, like, you're gonna have that thought in the back of your mind, like, you know, did I do this properly? Am I actually doing good? Is this just like a one-time thing? You're not gonna feel confident in yourself. So, you know, post your profits, post your losses, it doesn't matter. Either or, if you post your losses, it's going to help you bounce back even better because you're going to see other people profiting and you're going to see your loss and you're going to say, okay, I screwed up somehow. How can I fix that? And, you know, you have a whole support group here, guys. So just remember, you have your whole group here. If you're having trouble with your trading, you can pop into the chat. You can ask questions. You can message me. Just a reminder, I'm not going to message you guys. I know there's a lot of scammers out there pretending to be me. So I'm probably never going to message you guys. It's not that I don't care about your trading or how you're doing, but I'm not going to message you. Like I'm not going to put more work on my plate than I need to. So if you get a message from me, it's probably a scammer. Like if he messages you, I forgot who sent the message earlier. I forgot, but yeah, they'll send you some kind of dumb, like some long message like this, right? I'm not gonna like, don't expect me to ever go out of my way to send you something like this. Hello, David, how are you? I hope you are copying and making the most of the trading market. Like I never talk like that. Like if you just read the message, you'll know it's not me because I talk to you like you're a human being. I'm not talking to you like I'm a robot. And I also know how to spell properly too. So just keep that in mind, guys. I'm never going to send you a long message like this. If anything, I'm going to send you like one message. I'm going to say, hey, what's up? I'm not going to send you this. This is going to, like, you think I'm going to sit down and write this message out and and ask you how you're doing. I'm just gonna ask you how you're doing. Hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm not gonna be like, hey, how's your trading? Do you need some help? I got Vimal over here. Vimal can help you. And I'll just point them to you, Vimal. No, I'm joking. All right, guys. So there's no entries here. I know you guys are kind of probably waiting for an entry here, but you guys can see there's nothing going on. So we got a little side chat going on here, but there's nothing to look for. Again, if you guys are looking for entries, look for price to break out of this range and continue up. So this is basically what you'd look for. You'd look for price to break out, look for it to retrace back to the pivot, and then shoot back up super strong, and then reach the target up here. But I don't think much is going to happen here from now until 8 o'clock. This will probably just keep going sideways until 8 o'clock here, and then it'll probably push up a little bit, go sideways again. And then at 9 o'clock, this is where the movement's probably going to start happening. Yeah. And CJ said, you also don't start your greetings with good day, kind sir, ma'am. Yeah, I would never say that. Like if I ever message you guys or if we ever talk, if you've ever talked to me before, it's super casual. I don't really, I'm not going to be formal with anybody. Yeah, Drew said, see you, ma'am, sir. Exactly. But yeah, if you guys are wondering about the scam alerts, there's a scam alert label over here. If you guys ever get messaged, also my username is not, it's going to be Kodi Kai Trades, just like all in one word. There's no periods, there's no spaces. It's just all one word. Yeah. So I just want to make sure you guys don't get scammed because people have gone scammed before and it's always turned out to be a bit of a mess. Yeah, Kamal said Discord needs to have a blue tick now. You know, it's weird. I can't even get the blue tick on Instagram. Well, I mean, you have to pay for it, but before I couldn't even verify my account. So weird. Their verification process is like flawed. Um, Forgot I'm using the wrong mouse. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add up my profits for the day and for the week so far. There's not much going on, so we're not going to miss out on anything here. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so 1140 times 17 plus 1080 plus 1080 plus 1080 is 525 plus 285 plus 270 plus 170. Okay, so for the day so far, I took that one trade for a full TP, locked in a total profit of 23,870 for the day. And then for the week over here, locked in, let's see, 1102 times 17 plus 1042, 1042, 1042, 530, 262, 247, 155. Okay, so here are my profits for the day. And then obviously for the week, this is because of the commissions and fees from yesterday and from today. So I'll just put this over here real quick. So plus 23,870 for the day plus 23,054 for the week. So there goes my profits for the day and the week. Not bad. So I pretty much recouped all of my fees from yesterday, and you guys can see it's just slightly below. I paid today, basically, I paid about 800 in commissions. So you guys can see here from my day, I made 23,870, and then for the week, I'm 23,054 because I paid 870 in commissions for today. That's crazy. These brokers are making bank, right? With those commissions. Because I'm just one person. So you think about there's like thousands of people who are taking maybe not as many trades as us, but go figure around a good amount. So these brokers are making like, yeah, millions a day in just commissions. Just open a broker at this point. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Like a real broker though, not like those bootleg brokers that are open in like the Bahamas or the Caribbean. Now those are scam brokers for sure. Not all of them, but those people like literally make money off the commissions only. All right, so looking at this right here, guys, price is still not doing anything. It's still within this middle area. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put your questions into the chat. It's 7:24 right now, so we still have about 30 minutes till 8. I'll hang around for maybe about like 15 to 20 more minutes, closer to like 7:40, 7:50. So we still have some time together, but if there's questions that you guys have, I'm here to answer whatever you guys need help with. Let's bounce back to NQ. Let's see if NQ is actually moving. NQ is the same thing. It's kind of just going sideways. I feel like with NQ, the levels have to be shifted a little bit. It needs to be at the 100. The 50 is too close. So let's do this. Let me turn off the 50, turn on the 100. Yeah, because NQ moves a lot faster. So the 50 is like too close. Those levels are not really too useful. I think the 100 might be a little better. Not that much better, but a little bit better. So if you guys are trading NQ, looks like it's just consolidating right here down the middle as well. Nothing crazy. Let's go back to YM. You have a question from Vimal. So Vimal said 653 CB, isn't it? Let's see. Let's go over here real quick. 653. Yes, this looks like a CB entry. Yeah, so you're getting better at identifying it, Vimal. Yeah, CB entry right there. So there's a low right there. The trend was bullish. You can see prices above the pivots, trend meters green. This low over here was this lower low. It doesn't have to be a lower low, but this low over here was red. And then you had a smaller green candle next to it. So like the whole logic behind that wall is that you're expecting price to correct up to fill this big candle right here. So that's where the CB would have happened. And it's actually a perfect time to take a CB because market was going sideways right here. So the CB, this is a perfect market condition for it. And you can see right there, it pushed up. And then it hit its full TP right there. If you wanted to do a 1-to-1, if you wanted to do a 10-20, you could have done that as well. That would have hit TP a bit earlier. But, it's just up to preference. I'd probably stick to the 15-15. And then it faked out. Yeah, so if you guys have questions like that, if there's a specific strategy that you guys like to follow, I know CV's kind of been in Vimal's brain space for the past couple of weeks. I didn't get a lot of questions about that in the mentoring session. You're able to identify it a lot better. So yeah, if there's any entries here that you guys see and you're confused about, just reach out, I might sound annoyed sometimes, but I'm not annoyed. I'm just like, I'm more frustrated because I would like you guys to learn this stuff. And I might come off as like being annoyed sometimes, but that's because like I really want you guys to understand this stuff because it's not super difficult. The strategies here are pretty straightforward. And then I just want you guys to like not mess up because the last thing I want you to do is learn the strategies and then implement them improperly, and then you end up losing a trade, right? I think that's the worst case where you learn a strategy, but then you execute it incorrectly and then you lose a trade because that's not what I want. I want you guys to learn the strategy, do it properly, and make profits. So, all right, there's still nothing going on here. As you can see, price has been consolidating since 643. So between 643 right here, just fake outs above this 500 level, like Drew just said. Yeah, Drew said just fake outs in both directions. So for the past, see how long it's been. For the past 40 minutes, almost an hour now, it's just been consolidating within these two levels. Just keep that in mind. This is a consolidation zone. So what you want to look for is a break outside the 500 mark or the break outside the 450 mark down here. I mean, either way, I'm done trading, so I don't really have a stake in this right now. And I'll just keep moving this sideways so that you guys can see the targets. Zoom out a little bit. Yeah, there's not much going on here. I think I like this a lot better that we have everything on one chart now, so we don't have to bounce between the tabs. I know it's a little messier, but I think with the mess, it helps you identify and see things a lot clearer. Ironically, right? Because the charts are messy here, but I feel like you can see things a lot better because you can see that the price is trending, but then also it's kind of just going back and forth right here, which, you know, is going to be a test of patience for a lot of people. Yeah, CJ said, yeah, Sean, as I've told you before, you have the patience of Jesus, Mary, Joseph, three wise men, and the camels they rode on. Yeah, I know that. I think patience and discipline is probably going to be like, well, during this type of market, right? This is going to be the hardest thing because it's harder to apply the strategies when the market's going sideways like this. So, like for me, um, it's hard for me to explain examples when the market's not really moving. If the market kept moving like this right here, it's so easy to explain examples, right? Like for example, over here, pre-market, there was a breakout V3. This was a breakout V3 and breakout V3 continuation. Pushed up perfect. There was also a PRV right here too. So I know we haven't been looking at the breakout entries, but there was a PRV that happened right here. So this first initial candle rejected off the pivot, pushed up, retraced on this red candle, bounced off the pivot right there. And that was the PRV entry. I don't take it myself, but I know some of you guys here still do. And that right there was another breakout entry, breakout V3, PRV. There's no other breakout V3 here. That's pretty much it. Let's see. Barack said move to. It's been 4 months. Not easy to control RR, but worth the effort. Yeah, I know. The volatility is too low, so the market's not really moving directional, so it's really hard to find consistency. I think the way that we're trading now works better because we're not missing out on these movements here on open. And I think the fact that I cut off my trading between 6:30 and 7 made all the difference. Because before we would keep trading, you know, between 7 and 8, and this is where a lot of the fake outs happen and where you get caught in these bad entries. So just zooming in right here again, guys, there's nothing happening. I'll draw a zone right here so that you guys can see things a little bit better. So if I turn off the levels here, I'll just turn everything off real quick so that you guys can see this here. So you guys can see this is the consolidation, right? So this is with the clean, at least a cleaner chart. You guys can see there's nothing going on over here. It is just going sideways. So just a reminder that that's why we're not taking any trades here because there are no trades to take right now. Let's see, Freddie said sticking to YM, forever YM. YM is big. We love each other and are patient with each other. Yeah. The thing with YM, guys, like for me, I've been trading YM for the past, I don't know, 6 years now, maybe 7 years. There's always going to be ways to make money trading YM. That's why I try to get across to a lot of people because I get that question a lot. People ask, why don't I trade NQ? Why don't I trade gold? Because YM is pretty consistent. You guys can see here the movement is pretty smooth. If you compare this to NQ is a good asset to trade too, but you guys can see how erratic it can be, right? Like during this whole time over here between 6:30 and 7, let me just show you guys between 6:30 and 7, there's so much that happened right here and so many spikes that it really is hard to find consistency with NQ. Like you can have big trades, like don't get me wrong, for NQ, you can have big trades and big wins and huge pushes, but a lot of times, a lot of people are getting faked out with NQ. I feel like NQ is not very consistent. Some days it's slow, some days it's really fast, some days it's kind of in the middle and then it goes fast for a little bit and then it dies out. Like for example, right here, the market was moving pretty smooth and then it moved very volatile right here. And then there were some spikes and then it's still moving volatile, but it's really just ranging in a big range. So my advice is to just find one asset that you really like and master it. So for me, that's YM. If you really like NQ, then just stick to NQ and master that. If you guys like gold, you can trade gold, just master that. There's no need to be a master of like all the other assets. You just focus on one. All right, 7:33 right now, guys. Again, price is still going sideways. There's nothing going on right here. Price has failed to break past the 500 mark right here. I mean, that's the main thing you would look for. So if you're looking for bias here, just focus on the 500 level. You can see price keeps testing it, but it fails to actually break past it and continue climbing. That's what you'd be looking for. See if there's anything over here. I'm going to move this over here real quick. See if there's any messages that I'm missing. All right. All right, just checking my messages to make sure I didn't miss anything here. My Discord back. All right, so price finally broke outside of the 500. Looks like it's probably going to fake out and pull back in. See, if it pulls back into the range, guys, I'm probably just going to wrap this up a little earlier today. There's just no need for us to be sitting on here and kind of like looking for trades to FOMO into, right? We've got about 25 minutes from now until 8, and it looks like it's pulling back into this area. So I'll hang out for about another 5 minutes or so as we get closer to 7:40. If there's any questions, guys, any questions at all, feel free to hop into the chat and I can answer whatever questions you guys need help with. Looks like Powell is done speaking. Thanks, Wes, for the heads up. So let's go pull that up real quick. Yes, so it looks like they are done and they're wrapping it up. So with Powell done speaking, I think the market's just going to get even slower. Market was already slow as is, but market's probably going to get even slower now because there's not too much going on. There's not too much here. Okay, so price pulled back into this range right here. And again, I don't think anything else is going to happen. So if you guys have more profits to post up, feel free to send them in. I don't see any other questions here in the chat. So I think this is probably a good time to wrap it up, guys. There's just no reason to stay on here and force a trade. Because if you just keep looking at the charts and there's nothing going on, odds are you're probably going to make a bad trade. So in order for me to prevent you guys from doing that, I think it's best to just wrap it up. If you guys do decide to continue trading, you probably want to wait until after 8 o'clock or like closer to 9. So maybe like 8:30 to 9 over here. I think price will probably keep consolidating right here and faking out and pulling back into the range. And then eventually it's going to swing back up. Or it looks like it's starting to climb up right here. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is just, another fake out. Oh, this might be the breakout. So let's see. This might be the breakout right here. Again, if you guys want to continue trading, the target price point is going to be right there. So what I'd recommend you guys do is look for price to break out of this area. It needs to actually break out though. So this isn't enough. It needs to break out, come back down and shoot back up. What might happen here is price might fake out again right here and then pull back into the range. So don't get caught in that. This is going to be a fake out most likely. And it looks like that's what's going to happen here because today is Trap Tuesday. So yeah. Looks like that fake out is happening right there, lured in some buyers, and then possibly pull back into the range. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I don't want you guys to get FOMO or have to worry about taking another trade here when the volatility still hasn't really shown. I think this might be another fake out, so it's not really worth the risk. So, all right, guys, if you guys have any more questions or if you guys have any profits to post up, feel free to send them in the group or message me on Discord. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up for the day. Pretty good day today. Just one trade that happened over here at about 6:40, like early in the session. The trade happened at 6:34, actually, right there for a full TP. So again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session. So tomorrow will be the last live session before 4th of July.